Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's been a really long time. Today's video is going to be a step-by-step breakdown of my full drawing process from start to finish. But before that, I have a quick unboxing that I'm going to be doing. So Parblo sent me a tablet stand to try out. This tablet stand is the PR100. It supposedly has a lot of different angles that you can prop up your tablet with, and I'm excited to be able to try it out for this video because the current drawing stand I'm using is this little guy from IKEA, and it's nice but it slips often. There's no grip in the back and the angle's kind of low, so my drawings are always kind of distorted when I'm working on them. So I'm really excited to be able to try this one out. The edge here where you put your tablet, there's some rubber grip to hold it in place, and on the back it has the leg that you can adjust. I think I like this angle the best. Just set my tablet like this. Oh, it's a perfect fit. This is a 12.9-inch iPad, by the way, but Parblo said that it'll actually fit tablets up to 16 inches, I think, so it can be used for a variety of different products. I really like how it has a really nice grip and it doesn't just slide all over my desk, which is really important to me. I'll have the link to this item in the description box if you want to check it out. Thank you again, Parblo, for letting me try out your product, and I will be using the stand for the rest of this video. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I'm doing a voiceover for the rest of the video because I can't draw while talking. The brush that I was using for the sketch is the Jing sketch brush. I'll put a link in the description for this brush pack if you want to check it out. For this illustration, I decided to do a redraw of one of my favorite scenes from Spy Family. I'm doing all the sketching in one layer, and I'm kind of freestyling the sketch just to get a general idea of how I want this drawing to turn out. My drawing process really varies from time to time. It really depends on my mood at the moment, but in general I like to clean up my sketches as I go, erase some of the guidelines as I'm drawing. I found that doing this kind of helps save a little bit of time later on. Oh, and I thought I could edit this video using real-time footage instead of speeding everything up, but then when I looked at my recordings, each video was like 9 minutes long and the whole drawing took several hours, so there's no way I'm going to be able to edit all of that footage without speeding parts up. I don't really have much to say for the rest of the sketching part, so I'll come back in the next segment. Alright, so after 1 hour of sketching, I flipped the canvas to see if there were any parts that I should kind of tweak. This is a really bad habit. I think you should try to flip your canvas more frequently as you're working on your drawing, but I forget to do that often. Okay, I finally finished the sketch. Now we're gonna go into rendering. I lay out the flats, which is just the base colors, using the hard airbrush, or is it a hard round brush? I can't remember, but it should show on the video screen. I'm trying to limit the amount of layers I use these days, mostly because it gets really annoying having to go back and forth trying to figure out which layer to draw on. And there's a Procreate shortcut that lets you select layers more easily through like a hand gesture, but I didn't set that up yet. So for this illustration, I think I just did all the skin flats in one layer, hair in another, clothes in like its own layer, and then the background in the fourth layer, kind of like that. Okay, and then for the highlighting, I took like a warm orange yellowish color, put a layer on overlay, and then kinda mark out the spots where I wanted the light to be hitting. And last but not least, I used a hard airbrush to block out the background colors. Sometimes you don't really have to worry too much about the details because it's probably going to be out of focus anyways, depending on what your what the focus of your illustration is. And for mine, clearly the subjects are the characters, so I didn't have to worry too much about the little details for my background. Okay, so by this point, I pretty much have the general color palette down, the vibe that I'm going for, which is kind of a sunset-y type feel, atmosphere, whatever you want to call it. I merge all the layers down, lower the opacity, and then start working on the line art on top of it. And for the line art, I used 2 different brushes. I think I like went back and forth because sometimes I don't really like the way my lines turn out with certain brushes. Like I have a specific brush I like using when I'm doing hair line art compared to like doing line art for the eyes, etc. One of the line art brushes I used is the pencil 2B brush, and I can't find the original source for this one. A Procreate default alternative that I recommend is like the 6B brush or the dry ink brush. And the second line art brush I used is called the round brush, and it's created by the artist Haley Vision. I'll link all of that stuff in the description so you can go check that out. Okay, now we're towards the end of the illustration. Here I just took the colored sketch from earlier, the one where I merged everything together. I put it under the line art, and then I pretty much end up just adjusting that during the rendering process. And for this, I also just used the hard airbrush and the Jing sketch brush from earlier. Just go back and forth. And that's pretty much the gist of my rendering process. It's a combination of like trust the process and follow your guts / intuition / wherever your heart desires. Go where the brush takes you. I also use the big airbrush tool to kind of create small gradients. It adds a little bit of depth, which I think makes the drawing look cute and a little bit more alive. Ooh, also I like to color over my line art, usually with like a shade of red, like on the darker side, or whatever like color that line art is adjacent to. I just kind of eyeball it, go with the flow, and see what I think looks decent. And I think that's pretty much it for the rendering part. I have nothing else to say. Once again, enjoy the video and the music. I will see you at the end. Okay, so the last thing I do is add some random brown bricks for the background and then add some texture using one of the textured brushes. I just picked a random one. I literally can't remember what it was called. And I'm finished. Yay! Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video, or if you skipped to the end, that's cool too. Thanks for being here anyways. Here's the full time lapse of the video. I mean, not the video, the drawing. It took 5 hours and 27 minutes, but I didn't do it all in one sitting. I would go crazy if I did. I think I worked on this over a span of like 4 or 5 days. I hate doing full illustrations with backgrounds and everything, but I thought it was good to challenge myself and practice doing different things out of my comfort zone. So here's the final result. Thank you for watching again. I hope it was helpful or fun to watch, or that you were able to take something away from it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Once again, shout out to Parblo for letting me try out their drawing stand, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!